Hollis in the city of love, but it's raining in Paris.
Hi, I'm Shandana Mufti. I'm here for ABScream Media. I'm here with guys with me. You guys just want to take a second to introduce yourselves?
I'm Kennedy. I'm Jared. Hi.
John. Hi.
So you guys are starting the second leg of your tour tonight. Are you excited?
Very excited.
Yeah, it's the first show on the East Coast tonight.
Yeah, the top comment on our Facebook post was something along the lines of, was it the right or left leg? And I thought that was kind of clever, but it didn't get enough thumbs up, so I think it's buried now in the comments. But
yeah.
It's the
east,
right leg.
It's the east leg.
It's the right leg.
Yeah, right leg.
So you changing anything up from the first part of the tour?
It's pretty much...
It's going to be brand new for the people that live here.
Yeah.
that is correct.
So,
pretty similar to us. We couldn't bring everything. We flew out, so we tried to pack as much of our stage up as we could bring out. Luckily, Nick Santino let us borrow a bunch of guitars.
He's a hoarder.
And he's actually a guitar hoarder. So he has like 1 billion of them. So we got to pick some, and he's being nice enough to let me and Kenny do that. So.
That is great of him. The name of the tour is An Acoustic Evening with the Maine. Is that sort of a deliberate throwback to your first tour?
Yeah, absolutely. We were kind of trying to rack our brains as to what we were going to call this thing. And we went back through kind of our old, what do they call them, ad mats. Just like the tour posters and stuff. And that one just kind of stuck out. Because it didn't have a specific kind of theme to it. You know, it just had it was just us. So yeah, it just kind of worked itself out. Actually, everybody kind of saw Tim, our manager, mock it up on the computer and just kind of ran with it.
So you've been on tour almost non-stop for like more than a year. This is your third time in Boston since June. So a lot of people talk about how exciting tour is, and others focus on sort of the monotony of going from green room to green room in a boring van along empty roads. Where on that line do you fall in that spectrum?
I guess it really depends on what time of the year you ask us, and to be honest, we've had it seems like quite a bit of time off. So
yeah.
So this is very exciting.
We're coming off like a month right now. It feels like, right?
Yeah, I think something like that. 2.5 weeks.
Okay, 2.5 weeks. Close.
Almost.
Kind of. Felt like a month, but I don't know.
It's one of those things that for us, it's because we put out a new EP and a new record really rather recently. It all feels fresh again, like a new cycle. So it's kind of for us, it's re-energizing. I mean, people seem to be really excited about what we're doing right now, and they're coming out to shows. And
You're playing a sold-out show.
yeah, so for us, it's very exciting right now.
One of the things you've had to fight on this tour is scalpers. Do you see yourself taking any sort of preemptive action against them in the future?
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely learning from it. As an entertainment, I don't know, just somebody that also goes to concerts. We know how it goes, and never thought that we'd be affected by something like
dealing
that.
with it on the other side of the issue.
So
I think
it's definitely something we're learning from.
We've kind of taken in what has happened this time. Some of it we couldn't help. Some of it we tried to figure out ways to help kids get tickets at a
promoters have been really great
cost.
about helping us help
Yeah,
people
exactly.
that have been kind of scammed.
We've been very open with the promoters about it.
But yeah, to answer your question, we're definitely going to try to figure out something.
Yeah, because it sucks.
For our future tours.
Yeah, we want to definitely get a handle on it.
So how'd you get the tickets back? Was it through the promoters, or did you go directly to the people who bought them?
We actually went to their houses and intimidated everybody.
Nice.
We looked up found their IP addresses, and showed up with guns. And
not guns.
Hey, just
Dogs.
a few knives.
Dogs, okay.
I mean, fake. They're fake.
Dogs.
Fake guns. That's what it's
Water guns.
So no, there's a process. I'm just not entirely filled in on what exactly they're doing.
Yeah, it's been hard. We've released tickets after doors so that people can go, like they count how many people have gone in, so just things like that. But yeah, it's just difficult. We're trying to figure out a proper way to handle it.
So you recently put out Imaginary Numbers, which is kind of where I'm guessing this tour came from?
Yeah.
So are the songs on that songs that you'd already had written and that sort of didn't make it on the previous releases, or new ones?
There were 2 songs. one for sure. Perfectly Out of Key was a song that I had that brought to the table for Forever Halloween, but it didn't necessarily fit in. And what was the other one? I feel like there was another one.
Room with No Windows was for a
right.
while.
We had
that was
that
that
El Paso, right?
Yeah, Room with No Windows was a song from like 3 years ago.
We were recording Pioneer, I think.
That we always enjoyed, but it never kind of made its way on. So.
Last time I spoke to you, you seemed kind of ambivalent about whether you'd be recording live again or not. Was that something that was put on the table for Imaginary Numbers?
Well, you know, we did it all on our own accord, and we bought all the gear on our own dime. So I think just because
we didn't have the means to isolate everything.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
we literally did not
and
have
the
the means to isolate each instrument, so we had to just kind of go piece by piece for Imaginary Numbers. But
and I think just to get familiarized with the gear and what we were, and we really didn't even know what we were doing or if it was going to sound good. So, but in the future, I mean, it's something that we would feel comfortable doing.
It's what we enjoy, yeah.
So yeah, I wouldn't rule it out, but you know, it all depends on what songs are on the table and
situational.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all relative. So
this is the first album you guys recorded on your own, and was right?
Yeah.
And so, what was that process like?
It was something that we had to figure out.
There's a lot of extra speed bumps, and there's a lot of different speed bumps that are gone.
Yeah.
So is there sort of stuff you'd learned from your previous recordings that you brought into play here?
Yeah, I think you kind of take in something from every recording, what you like and dislike, and the process of going about it.
So it's like the biggest learning curve doing it alone this time.
I think it's kind of what we ran into during Pioneer was not having somebody there to kind of say no and maybe disagree with kind of how everybody's kind of feeling. So it's
properly.
Yeah, but
I mean, Pat's been kind of like engineering stuff. Like he's become really good at that. So he kind of, as far I wouldn't know what to do. I wouldn't know how to make anything sound good. I know how to dial in an amp, but it's like that's kind of been Pat's thing. Is like figuring out what we need to buy, what we need to make the record sound good. So I think that's been the hardest part. And I haven't had to do anything with that. So I've just been watching him.
Have you picked up stuff from him?
Yeah, not really.
No. Okay. We're on the topic of 8123 right now, so it kind of started when you guys left Warner, and it's evolved into sort of a catch-all for so many aspects that are generally split up in the industry. Are you kind of setting this up as, maybe not intentionally, but as an antithesis to what the general, like the major label industry?
I think for us, we were just trying to identify with something that we agreed with and that we believed in. And, I really believe that what is now being dubbed 8123 has always been there. We just didn't necessarily have a name or like a designated home for it all. So, having Nick, open these shows, and this Century's recording right now, and Lydia's going on tour, and for us it's just we were always friends with all those people, and we all supported each other and support still what everybody's doing. So it's just a cool way to identify with people that you believe in what they're doing, and it's not an exclusive kind of group, and we're continually looking for more people to kind of join. But right now it just it's not something that we're doing on purpose. It's just something that we believe in and something that we can identify with. So, I mean, that's just kind of life. Is everybody just wants to fit in. So it's, this is where we feel most comfortable.
If you had to put together like a mission statement, a one-sentence statement for 8123, what would that be? I'm putting you on the spot here. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's my statement.
Oh, nice. That is to the point.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
It's so easy to explain what it is, but to shorten it and like summarize it, it's challenging.
Oh man. we're all just skin and bones. There you go. Yeah.
You heard it here first,
There
guys.
you go. Write it down.
Speaking of that sort of spirit of community, you guys also just started a collaborative series where you just put out a single by Nick Santino. So is this just a result of all you guys just playing together and wanting to get that out formally, or is it something?
It was honestly something that just it wasn't thought out. It was Nick and I wrote a song, and during the process, we recorded it, and once it was done, Pat had the idea to just, figure out a vessel or an avenue for it to be released through, and we kind of just made that up. Pat made that up, and we made it happen, and that's the beauty of it, is that the turnaround is so quick, whereas if we were signed to a label, like any of the labels that we've been on in the past, there's so many things in your contracts and the amendments in the contracts that don't allow you to do something like that. You wouldn't be able to just write a song and release it, and record it yourself and release it. So many hoops to jump through, and that's what's honestly, it's just the ambitious and kind of the energetic and excited aspect of what we're doing. And who we are. I think that's this is what we really truly love doing, is writing music and sharing that with people. And I think we're just trying to figure out how many different ways we can go about doing that.
So what's next for the series? Do you have anything in the works?
It's kind of weird right now, just because Century is in the studio, Lydia's going to be on the road. But we definitely talked within the group, and we're going to figure it all out once all the kind of routings and everything aligns and everybody's in one place at one time.
Your sound has changed a lot since you started out. I don't think that's something that you're going to dispute.
Yeah.
Nope? Okay. Is this sort of a change as a result of your influences changing and developing, or is it that you're able to play the music you want to play?
There's a whole lot of factors coming into that.
So many variables.
Playing together, playing on the road, playing with different people, all these other bands that we're great friends with, that we play with. And listening to different things, we're kind of always jamming together and wanting to do music. So
Everything has kind of changed. I mean, for me personally, since we started the band, is the way I look at approaching how my guitar sounds or how we're writing a song. Like, it's just we do things the same way, but we just have so much more knowledge about how we're doing it now. So that just creeps in and affects things when we're listening to influences. It literally comes from all over the place. So it's very hard to nail down that one thing that's like causing things to shift. But I think that the freedoms that we've had have definitely been liberating enough to some point where we can be exactly what we want to be. We can do whatever we want at any given point in time. So I just feel like every album has been a kind of like a prospect.
Has your songwriting changed as well?
I think the process kind of remains the same. I think every time we release something, we figure out more about the process and what we think it means to write a song, and what we think it means to write a song that we're comfortable with showing people. I think it's remained actually very similar to what it was when it started. And it's just about refining the process in your eyes and just doing what it is that makes you a band, I think that's what we're really trying to focus on.
You guys are on the tour a lot, and you pretty much essentially grown up on the road. You started out pretty young. So do you feel, with your fans growing up as alongside you, do you feel like you missed out on any aspects of, say, like, I'm using this loosely, like a normal life while you guys were growing up?
At this point, we're so disconnected with what a normal life would have been, because this is our life.
I'm not really sure.
The only indication that we have is we have a lot of friends back. Me and John are the same age, so we were going to, we started college, and so did all of our friends, and so when we got away from that and started touring, it was awesome. It was great to be doing. It still is awesome, but you watch your friends do these things that are kind of the standard route thing that everyone does in life, and I think that has been the only, the only indication of what I would be doing other than the band. So, I think we're just so happy doing what we're doing that it doesn't really apply.
I just saw a saw an interview with Keith Richards, and they asked him, what would you be doing if you weren't doing this? He said, being someone else.
Yeah.
And that's really the bottom line, is we don't know what we'd be doing. We don't know what is normal, because this is normal for us. And all we're trying to do is make this last for as long as we can, because this is the only thing we know at this point. This is what we love doing. So.
Great. Well, have a good show tonight. And
Thank you.
Time.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
What good is a heart of gold with no